Hey guys, welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys checking the video out today. And guys, got some really sad and disturbing news I want to report to y'all today about an angler that was killed today on Lake Hartwell during a fishing tournament. And I actually saw this on Dieter Melhorn's YouTube channel. He first reported it. I guess Dieter lives pretty close to the Lake Hartwell down there where this happened, and it was on the news. But apparently what happened in this tournament, conflicting reports, but some people say high winds capsized this boat, and the anglers that were in it went into the water in, I'm assuming, 40 some degree water there in Lake Hartwell, maybe close to 50 degrees. And one angler died, again, I'm assuming from maybe hypothermia or drowning, and they were able to rescue the others. Boats came over and got them out of the water, but apparently the boat capsized and one angler lost their life with that. So, man, I want to speak to this a little bit because maybe some of the things I can offer here will help you guys maybe, avoid tragedy at some point. Because in the tournaments that I fished over the years, there's been 3 or 4 tournaments that I can remember where anglers were killed during the tournament. Differing things, either capsizing or boat wrecks, whatever it may be. And it's one of the things about bass fishing, guys, is a lot of people do not give bass boats the respect they deserve for being as dangerous as they are. And one of the things that is super disturbing to me every time that I go to Stockton Lake in Missouri, up on top of one of the ramps there's this picture of this 8-year-old little kid and his dad that lost their life on Stockton Lake in a very similar situation a few years ago. Their boat capsized in cold water. Both of them drowned or died from hypothermia. And it just kills me every time I see it because I've got a young son too, and I can imagine, I can't even freaking imagine going through that. But one of the things I want to talk about here that may help out a little bit is give you guys some tips and advice on some not so common safety tips that you can do when you're out on the water. First of all, one of the most dangerous things in tournament fishing is speed of a bass boat and not paying attention. There's the combination of the two. Number one is the speed. A lot of people don't realize that just because a bass boat will go 60 or 70 miles an hour, that there's not something down there that you could hit. I mean, there's floating logs that float under the water that far all the time that completely can rip your motor off your boat, flip the boat. Sometimes if people take too sharp of a turn at a high speed, it can nose hook the front and you can flip the boat. You can flip the boat by not seeing a boat wake. A lot of times on a smooth day, those big cruisers will have these big giant wakes that you can't see until you're up on them. You can lose your control with that. A lot of people in tournaments, they try to cut corners between the boat and the bank. Dangerous situation. And sometimes you just not be paying attention and run over the top of another boat. That's happened quite a few. I mean, that's a lot of different situations that can come up with that. That's actually driving the boat. Now, in terms of like what happened in today's tournament, where obviously a boat capsized and then the anglers, like I said, the reports that just happened, so those reports haven't really came in whether it was hypothermia or drowning, is when you're fishing in the wintertime, and I fish a lot in the wintertime, guys, you can't take any chances whatsoever, because if you fall in 40 or 50 degree water, you are in serious trouble, even if you're a strong swimmer, because if you fall in, a lot of times you're going to have your rain suit or your clothes soaked, and even if you have a life jacket, getting back to the boat can be a monumental effort, let alone get into the shoreline. I remember a friend of mine that worked for Ranger Boats years ago. He was out at Bull Shoals Lake testing a boat in January, and he nose took the boat and it threw him out of the boat in January. And he told me that he by the time everything settled down, he was about 50 feet away from the boat in 40 degree water. He said it took literally every bit of his will to live and his strength to just swim back 50 feet to the boat and get himself back up in the boat again. He could very easily die. So when you're fishing in cold water, guys, you have to take extra precautions. Don't go out in a lake in a small boat in the wintertime, especially some type of a boat like a little flat bottom, something that's more susceptible to capsizing or problems. stay closer to the shore, never put yourself in a position where you're a long way from shore, and also be extremely careful if you're out in cold water and it's windy conditions, because that's even exacerbates the situation even more. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to report that. You'll probably be hearing a lot more about it over the next couple days. Like I said, it's just sad news for everybody that's involved. But like I said, it's fishing can be dangerous, man. Fishing, don't ever think that fishing is not a dangerous sport, because it is. I mean, it can be one of the most dangerous sports that there is, and it only takes one bad decision, to have some type of a tragedy like that. So just be safe and be careful out there. So we'll talk later. See you.